Hi, I want to talk about a subject or more like a series of insults that have been in my face since I came to United States many years ago. And it's like a very late reply. I call this video "If Capitalism is so wonderful, or why are you so miserable?" And I've had a lot of discussion with people and many company owners and teachers repeatedly since I came to United States in 1977. And I guess this radical belief in the superiority of capitalism and how valuable it is, yeah, is like a club that many Americans they use it to bash on other nations and other ethnicities and other countries. I mean, okay, even if capitalism was so wonderful, doesn't mean I have to go and kill 3 million Vietnamese for it, or nuke Japan, well, I think they want to nuke China and Russia too. But I want to point out that some of the flaws of capitalism and why many philosophers, mystics, many prophets, they hate it, and they have been trying for many generations or thousands of years to kind of soften up or ameliorate or make it more human, stupid form of economic system that just won't go away. It's like like a bad disease, It's like getting AIDS, and that there aren't the right medication to suppress the virus, or you're kind of stuck with it. And there has been many attempts and many revisions trying to kind of get around all the negative consequence outcomes of this economic system. More than anything else, it's an extremely troublesome system that goes through all kinds of crises, and then all kinds of people come in and try to, work out the flaws, and then it creates whole classes of bourgeoisie and militants and militarists and intellectuals that they just constantly fight and try to justify it. It just the whole thing is a farce, and humanity just does not want to outgrow this thing. It's just is there, and it's like a bad family. I had the honor of keeping my grown adult child son for like 4 or 5 months, and it was a very trying experience because whatever that's wrong with me personally in character defects and it's I had to live with it all over again in the person of this family member. So besides having a lot of issues with it, it's there is a fundamental philosophical problem with it, and I studied Islamic philosophy and Sufism for many years, and in a part of the our history, what Prophet Muhammad was trying to stop the Arabs, the early Arabs, to stop worshipping different idols or different statues that they create themselves, like and also this concept of not being beholden to a system of thought or your own theories or imaginations or your own creation. Uh, it has been discussed many times in our history. There is a famous statement that many Muslims know about it, and that's attributed to Prophet Muhammad, and I heard it for the first time from one of the top students of the Sufi master Shah Masud. His name was Mr. Kasrafi, and he was one of the highest students that he had. And he said that Prophet Muhammad had said that whatever your mind creates, whatever your consciousness creates, this is like a creature that you created, you made, and it will fall back onto you, or it will fall apart, because whatever that your mind creates, or whatever theory, whatever idol, whatever that you worship or care about, that you constructed in your head, okay, this is like a ghost in the machine, and it's a dogma, it's a way of thinking, and it may work now and here, but it probably won't work everywhere. It always has some flaws or something that's not complete, and it can never be as great or greater than you. Okay, so he was trying to say that stop worshiping your idols or creation or whatever your mind has constructed. This is just a creature, your creature, and this creature, whatever it is, or however it is a lesser being than you. So basically, Sufism says that your consciousness is the divine, is the God, and you should go back to this original spirit, original consciousness, instead of worshipping or deeply caring about your constructs. Quran also talks about that God says that they come and read Quran, but it does not increase in them anything but zan. And the word zan has a negative connotation. It means like it's used. Arabs use it in many words that mean suspicion or theories that are ill-constructed. For example, if somebody is a suspect, in the legal terms, Muslims they call him mazloom, which means like you are very highly suspected of having done something wrong. Or zanin means suspicion. Zan means a kind of theory that's very suspect. So, for example, the Quran says that people come and read the spiritual accounts of what happened in your consciousness, in your mind, in your soul, and then they form these theories and ideas, and they're often they're not the same thing. They are just the crap. They're constructed according to your own wishes and desires. So usually the people who are very fond of different theories and economic or even spirituality or whatever, they're usually psychopaths that they fall in love with these ideas, and they use it like a club or an excuse to go all around the world and do all this stuff, construct empires and bash anybody with it. Like the U.S. government went into Vietnam, killed 3-4 million Vietnamese just because they didn't like communism. I mean, okay, communism has problems, but who's to say that the problems that this economic system has is much worse than the capitalism? That's not true. I mean, there are communist countries that they have achieved nice standard of living, or they have done some great things. Well, there were many empires that were constructed by murderers, like Libya's Gaddafi's Libya, or but they also did very wonderful things too, and they had the highest standard of living. Or I just could go down. There's many economic or political systems that the founders were very questionable people, but they had done some good things and some very rotten things. And who should say capitalism is any better than those systems? And this strange devotion to this system that has all these problems is itself a sign of psychopathy. And anyhow, I was talking to, well, I was a cab driver in Laguna Beach, and one day I went to Montage and picked up the CEO of one of the major banks. I guess they merged with Bank of America. He came in with his girlfriend, and he was very confrontational, like, you know, you're an idiot and you don't know what great guy I am, and and I run this company, we Americans are like this. And then he couldn't get my attention. Finally he said, well, this whole taxi business that you have is a form of capitalist venture. You have to service customers, collect money, and pay out. Or why the hell did you come to the United States if you don't think much of our system? And what were your prime reasons for coming here? Anyhow, I told him my reasons for coming here were not because I'm in love with capitalism or U.S. system. It was because I wanted to study. And then his girlfriend added that and to meet women, which is totally true. And I told him yes. Those were the two reasons I came here. I didn't come here for capitalism, or I'm not in love with this system. I don't admire you or this whole setup. It's just something that's for granted. Anyhow, what I'm trying to say is that this system has many flaws, and it is falling apart for some fundamental reasons. One of the reasons that capitalism is falling apart is that capitalism is based on scarcity, and you go out and get credit or pay the higher rate to get something, most of the time on impulse, because there is dire need, or a strong need. Well, imagine in a society that there are all these intelligent machines and automated systems and all this software and all these massive number of servers that produce just about anything for peanuts. Where are you going to find the scarcity in such a system? If we are following Moore's law, and our computers and our cars and our airplanes and our space planes, they are all becoming cheaper and faster and more available, and there is abundance that's coming out of our ears. Then where is the scarcity? One form of creating scarcity, the way the U.S. government does, is by creating wars and killing people out of its borders. And then there is a scarcity because they need weapons, and they need planes, and they need to rebuild their houses. We created this scarcity, but that's not really legitimate, it's inhuman. And the other problem with capitalism is that it's very destructive, very highly criminal, and because it's in constant conflict with the human morality and human spirit, and we are greater beings. We have outgrown it, and the capitalists and the bourgeoisie always doing this stuff. That's the sole motivation is profit, but often the stuff they do is contrary to public interest, contrary to self-interest. It's criminal. It destroys the environment, destroys societies. When you confront them, that's the only thing you hear is more of this dogma on how great it is. The other aspect of capitalism that Islamic philosophy totally condemns, and also many prophets they talk about this, is if you read Bible, it says that you know a tree by its fruits, and the Sufi master said that if you don't know a tree, you don't know its fruit and its leaves and its bark. You don't know it because you don't know the whole tree. And if we imagine capitalism or this system to be a tree, well, we could see that it had the beginnings or in the human history, and it grew and had stages of its development. And the capitalism that we have, or the murderous capitalism that we have, with all this militarism and destructiveness, is a natural outgrowth of a former or younger version of this same tree or this same capitalism. And it doesn't work or operate the way it used to. It does something else, just like an older person, like I was living my son. I have outgrown my character defects, and I could live with peace with myself. But I see it in him, and he's still got all this stuff going on. So it's you just realize that this capitalism is not the wonderful capitalism that there used to be. It had this price discovery and free markets. It's not like that. It's a zombie capitalism, but it is still a capitalism that outgrew or grew out of the older version of capitalism, and it does bear fruit, and the fruits of capitalism is despotism, militarism, just non-stop carnage of all kinds of ethnicities and people, destruction of the nature, destruction of social orders, overriding moral code. It sucks. It creates all these super rich and bourgeoisie and money junkies. I mean, you read Bible and you see even Jesus. He could not stand these people. He came and overturned their tables in the temple. He wanted them out. All the money exchangers, and this keeps going on. The biggest enemies of Prophet Muhammad were the wealthy, his own family, who were extremely wealthy, and they finally managed to kill off his grandson and many of the original Muslims. I mean, it creates a kind of sickness in the people that practice it, the bourgeoisie, and they are at constant war and conflict with the rest of society. We have unending crises. In the Muslim code, the Sharia, Prophet Muhammad encourages the Muslims to pay a religious tax, which means somehow to bring down these people off of their high horses and make them spend some money, some of their profits into back into society. What they call it the homes, which means the 1/5. If you're a good Muslim and you're wealthy, you have means, you should spend a portion of it. This is a form of ameliorating capitalism. And then Prophet Muhammad went on to say that you must also pay purity, which is like a 5% if you want to be really in God's graces. So the taxes, it comes out to 25% of your net income or net profit every year. That's a nice hefty tax. You benefited from this barakah, this religion, this spirituality, this society, and this ways of living. There's nothing capitalist about this. It totally comes from spiritual values. This system is so deficient in any kind of spirituality. Somebody else came in and instituted these ideas. I mean, then as I was talking to my friend from Montage, the CEO, I was telling him that what has saved capitalism all this time are things like Christian charity, the New Deal, FDR's, institute charitable or ways of distributing the wealth and political power between the people. None of this stuff comes from capitalism itself. It's a creation of a charitable mind, a charitable soul. How the people who are economists, they contribute all these changes that were made to capitalism to themselves. Like, we are so great, look at our system. Yeah, but this system is not yours. This was created by later philosophers and economists that did not believe in the original dogma you created. They came in and moderated it, they ameliorated it, made it more human. The original thing that you are trying to go back to is a dogma that sucks and creates problems and crises that never go back, never go away. The other problem with capitalism is it creates the super rich, it creates all the sultans and khalifas and the super rich, and they go around the world on killing sprees or military ventures or empires. And if you're a middle class or a low income individual, you're less apt to be running throughout the world and rampaging. Anyhow, it corrupts the soul and makes people do things that is in conflict with the higher spiritual values. I don't know. I do believe that capitalism is falling apart, and many of the institutions that it has created, they are not functioning anymore. And since 2008, what has kept capitalism, international capitalism going, is all this cheap money that the banks are printing. Many companies and individuals are not really successful with their own little business because the foundations have rotted. I'll have more videos about this subject at a later time, but I think that it's, it's it's okay to have systems that are concurrently running with capitalist systems that are not capitalist at all. They're like charity, like Christian charity, you give away food or amenities, or socialist systems that like free medical, or food stamp, or you have to call it some other names because there is so much hostility to these systems in the society, or what the people believe is completely against their own self-interest. These systems, they are not destructive, and they can run concurrently with other capitalist ventures. And if they want to create casinos and empires and bankrupt themselves, well, that's fine, as long as the rest of us, we can have access to bread and circus. We won't break our bank. Uh, the changes that our society is experiencing will or has at some point make many of capitalist institutions irrelevant. Like I was saying in my previous videos, much of the stuff that's produced or distributed in society is is uh, is non-market production, or the price has sunk so low that really it doesn't matter who makes it or who distributes it, as long as you can get it. And many things are free, or the price is beyond what the capitalist system had intended for it to be. And what if one day you wake up and 99% of anything that you use and consume or eat or are not made by humans or capitalists, but they're made by machines and artificial intelligence systems. Anything that you do in banking and in communication, they're handled by servers all over the place. I mean, okay, and you buy it for a song, then why should you be sad, or why should you care if there were no more capitalists one day and they just passed away? Or why do you want to go back to a system that has done so many bad things, and we have all outgrown it? I have some other videos about this subject. Thank you very much for being my YouTube channel.